had this dream once about this pair of friends, and it was kind of like maybe not medieval times, definitely. Well, it was a fantasy setting. Let's just say that. And it was like a long-haired girl and a guy with short white hair. It's not really important. And they came across this sword, and the sword basically lets you win every fight. It's really, really strong or something. And the girl gets it, and she starts using it to like win and gain notoriety, and she basically becomes like a traveling menace because she's going town to town beating people with this magic sword that she can just completely waste other people with. And the guy gets concerned because he feels responsible for her. So he ends up challenging her, and he wins, having stopped her in her reign of terror. Of course, he ended up killing her in the duel. And so that ended up becoming the prologue for the next game we're talking about today. Essentially, it's about the angels, or the spirits the spiritual forms we take in the afterlife, and how they like to fight each other, because it's basically a beat 'em up game. And one of the things that's different is that these angels can shapeshift into a weapon. Like, depending on what faction of angel you are. And so the story is that there was one angel that was really powerful, that he was cast out from heaven in his weapon form, and so in like the living world, you can't transform between them. Let's say, and that weapon is what the two friends came across. Let's say his name was Lucifer or something. Yeah, that makes sense. Religious symbolism. One of the weird things about holding to this Lucifer sword is you become evil when you use it. And if you don't become evil, you die, like, slowly over time. And so the guy friend, he ends up dying, and he comes across a pack of adventurers. And just before he dies from this disease, he tells them that they have to send the sword back into heaven through a means that he knows somehow. Plot reasons. Anyway, heaven gets rid of this, and then a war starts between all the different angel factions over who's gonna get Lucifer when he comes back out. Because he's gonna arrive somewhere, and basically all the factions are now in a race to get to him. And so the factions are the technology faction, like the Tron Legacy people, the creepy ghouls and vampire guys, some guys that are basically just a bunch of rock stars that really don't give a crap about anything, the typical super holy angel guys who are like knights and think that they have to be in charge of everything, and some weird cult faction that is in love with Lucifer, and they're waiting. So they're the primary villains of the game. And the plot gets started because the girl, she gets to heaven, and she shows up in the technology faction. She goes, "Yo, guys, Lucifer's coming back. We're gonna get him." And then the guy, he goes to the ghoul faction. He's like, "Yo, Lucifer's coming back. We gotta get him before the technology people do." And so basically they start having a war over who gets Lucifer when he returns. And then the Holy Guard people are like, the main angels are like, whoa, wait, we gotta stop this, we gotta intervene, we're in charge here, we need to keep order. And then the Rockstar guys are like, hey, this looks like fun, let's get involved. And so then that's our gameplay setup. So gameplay is a mission-based structure, each one based around each faction, and you'll go into a mission where you'll like fight a bunch of guys. And you go in with a team of 3 angels that you'll play as that you can swap between on the fly. And also on the fly is you can turn your teammates that you're not controlling into their weapon form and then use that to mix up combos. Each angel's weapon form is based around what faction they are. So like the Tron people will have like lasers and like lightsabers and future tech stuff. The Ghoul guys have like creepy bows, like claws, whatnot. The main angels will have like sword shields, boring stuff, and the Rockstar guys will use musical instruments like guitars or drumsticks that they just smack people with. And so like you'll be doing mid combos and you'll just press a button and then a party member will just jump into your arms in the form of a weapon and then you'll fight. So it's very much like Soul Eater or Valkyrie Drive in that way. So gameplay will be either you use 3 normal guys who fight with like hands and feet, or 1 guy with a weapon, 1 normal guy, or 1 guy with 2 weapons. And so basically when you're picking your angels, you're picking your loadout. It's very much like Transformers in that way. So you can pick angels based on personality or based on their weapons. And the first time you play through the game, it'll be faction-based specific, but when you go through again in the New Game Plus or whatnot, you'll have access to everybody, kind of like LEGO games in their free play mode. So then you really get to mix and match your favorite weapons. The gameplay will be very much like a Platinum game stuff, specifically Bayonetta with its punches and kicks. Oh man, if Platinum is still around and they make this game, that would be really nice. Other inspirations for the combat was those DS Kingdom Hearts games. I just really like how in those games every Keyblade you have has its own little combination. Like the different Keyblades have different attack animations. Specifically the air one where like you just do like tons and tons of swings. And then there's ones that do less swings but like more damage, stuff like that. Anyway, the story... spoilers, I guess. So the story ends with the event, like every once in a while you will turn back to the main adventurers who are just going on their journey. And they're basically having to do the thing where like they have to swap the sword between them because, you know, it makes them evil or it kills them. And they all eventually die on their way to the altar to send Lucifer back into heaven. And then they do, they all die. Lucifer gets sent back to heaven. And that's where like the big climactic battle is between all 4 factions. And then Lucifer shows up, transforms back into his like humanoid form. And then you have your final boss fight. And it looks like things aren't going well because like you have Lucifer there, his followers. And then the big damn heroes moment is the adventurers show up in their angel forms. And then like they come and then like it's this really cool cavalry moment and there's this big fight. And so like they help with the big fight. And I always thought the final strike would be 1 person from all 4 factions grabs like one of the adventurers. Like they each take an arm and then like they throw him really like with full strength. He transforms into a weapon mid-flight and then that hits Lucifer and that's what kills him. This is unofficially part of a series of games I've been making based off of childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. So this one's kind of afterlife. Technically, it's kind of like a Terry Gilliam's films, but those games are all RPGs, and this one isn't really. Well, not. No, it straight up just isn't. It's just a basic action game. Lots of crazy fights, lots of fun. I hope. If they don't make this game fun, that would be a real pain in the ass. For a while, I thought that I might have to make a phone version of this game, because some games I have like a backup phone version, and the phone version would be more traditional beat 'em up like River City Ransom, and you'd like move across like the 2D plane, and like you punch guys, and you'd have your swipes to do aerial combos or low kicks, stuff like that. A much basic simplification of the same core gameplay. This one doesn't actually have a name. I don't know, Holy Arms? Something like that.